a look at solving rational fractions. So before we start, pause the video and see if you remember how to solve this. So hopefully you guys remember we can take the square root of each side. So we end up with 2x minus 4 equals 6 and 2x minus 4 equals negative 6. And then we just solve for x. So we add 4, 2x equals 10. So on this one, x equals 5. Add 4. So we have 2x equals negative 2, so x equals negative 1. So what we're going to look at today is we're going to look at solving these rational expressions where we have some fractions involved. And you guys might remember fraction busters. So we're going to get rid of our variable on the denominator, so we'll multiply by y. And now we'll distribute to each one, so y times y is y squared. But you'll notice if we put the y next to this one, our y is reduced down to 1, so we just have plus 6 equals 5y. And we have a quadratic, so we need to set it equal to 0. So we have y squared minus 5y plus 6 equals 0. And we could try factoring or completing the square, quadratic formula. I'm going to try factoring here. So a times c is 6. So let's see, negative 3 and negative 2. So y minus 2 minus 3. So it factors into y minus 2 times y minus 3 equals 0. So we have y equals 2 and y equals 3. And we can double check these answers by plugging them in. 2 plus 6 over 2, does that equal 5? And does 3 plus 6 over 3 equal 5? Well, yep, 2 plus 3, that works, and 3 plus 2. So those answers both work. So this next one looks a little bit more complicated. But before you do anything, you're going to want to factor. So you'll see in this third fraction here, we could try factoring that. So a times c multiplies to 10 and adds to 7, so 5 and 2. So we have x and x plus 5 plus 2. So this one factors into x plus 5 times x plus 2. So now when we look to get those variables out of our denominator, one of our factors is x plus 2. Here we have x plus 5, but we don't have to repeat them. So we're going to multiply all of these in. So next to this one, we'd have x plus 2 and x plus 5. And you'll notice the x plus 2 is reduced down to 1. So we have our x plus 2 and x plus 5. X plus 5 is reduced down to 1. X plus 2, x plus 5. Well, x plus 2 and x plus 2 is 1. X plus 5 and x plus 5 is 1. So we're left with 4 times x plus 5 plus 3 times x plus 2 equals 5. And now we can distribute and solve. 4x plus 20 plus 3x plus 6 equals 5. So we have 7x plus 26 equals 5 minus 26. 7x equals negative 21. So we have x equals negative 3. And then we can double check it again. 4 over negative 3 plus 2 plus 3 over negative 3 plus 5. Does that equal 5? Negative 3 squared plus 7 times negative 3 plus 10. So let's see. This would be 4 over negative 1 plus 3 over negative 2. Does that equal 5 over, what do we have, 9 minus 21 plus 10? So we have negative 12 plus 10. So we have negative 2. And let's see, this would be negative 4 minus, oh, this is positive 2, so plus 1.5. Does that equal negative 2.5? And it does. Now the last one we're looking at, there's a lot of factoring on here. So when we look at this first one, we can factor out a 4 from all of this. So we have 4m squared minus 7m minus 30. And then we can box and circle this one. And you guys would see that this would end up with minus 10m plus 3. This one we can factor out a 4, so we have m minus 10. We can also factor out a 4 here, so if we divide each of those by 4, we have m plus 3. So first I'm going to rewrite this in factored form. And we can just worry about our denominators, is fine. Plus 30, we don't have to factor the numerators. 4m minus 10, m plus 3 equals m plus 10, 4m minus 10 plus m over 4m plus 3. So now we can do our fraction busters. So we have factors of 4, m minus 10, and m plus 3. Well, for this one, if we multiply 4m minus 10 times m plus 3, 4m minus 10, so those cancel out. This one we have 4m minus 10, m plus 3. 4m minus 10, m minus 10, and m times 4, m minus 10, m plus 3, 4. So we are left with, you should have a little bit more room here. Let's see. This side is just m squared plus 11m plus 30. Here we have m plus 10, m minus 3. Was it minus 3 or plus 3? And this one we have our m is left and m minus 10. So this one's just kind of a messy one, so take your time here. We got m squared when we multiply this out, 3m plus 10m plus 30. And then we have plus m squared minus 10m. So over here we still have our m squared plus 11m plus 30. Let's see, 10, m squared plus 11m plus 30 equals 2m squared plus 3m plus 30. Let's see, subtract 30. I'm going to subtract the m squared, set it equal to 0, and subtract the 11m. So zeros over here, we have